Well, we are going to go to some far-flung part of Western Australia for a conversation that we really didn't want to have, to be fair. But Bevo and I both sort of put it off as long as we probably could, with the news, obviously, that our good mate who's with us now, Rob Beveridge, is not returning for 2023. Bevo, I guess from both of our points of view, we were hopeful that we could make things work for next season. It's not quite going to do that too, mate. So I guess this is the chat that we can't really put off any longer.
Yeah, that's right. I guess we have, because it was probably one of the hardest decisions that I've ever had to make, because the job with the Sharks, it was one of the best I've ever had. It's one of the best organisations, professionalism, the community, everything was like it was just first class, and it gave me the love back. As I mentioned a long time ago that. I didn't enjoy coaching in the Australian BL. Finished that situation where I just lost the love of the game, and then I just spoke with you and Jill and rolled the dice and said, I'll give it a go, and it actually rekindled my love of the game. Being with the Sharks, as I said, it's just an amazing club, amazing people, and and now, I mean, at times I'm thinking, have I made the right decision? Because I would love to come back, but there's just too many things that are going on in my life that, everything, from being away from the family for long periods of time, through to, the injuries I've had, all of those little bits and pieces. And I think I've just got to a point in my life that I've got to actually slow down a bit short term. And unfortunately, I had to make that very tough decision.
Yeah, and not falling off roofs would be a good start. Let's be honest. How are you, mate? Anyway, I mean, just tell us a little bit about how the sort of recovery's going as well.
Yeah, look, it's getting there. When it first happened, it was pretty much I was banged up pretty bad with all the broken ribs and the scapula and the thumb and the thigh and things like that. And I guess it's it really made me reflect about how damn lucky I really was. And so I'm doing a lot of rehab. I'm doing a lot of physio. The actual scapula is still causing some problems. So the ribs they're all healed. I had some scans about a week and a half ago just to see how things were going. The ribs are all back together, although they did say I was deformed. So that's nothing new. But the scapula still hasn't healed properly. It got cracked in 3 places and displaced. So it's still causing a bit of grief with that. And I've got a lot lack of strength and stuff like that. But good news is I'm off all the bands. I'm now back. I can actually physically go into a gym. And I was very, very proud that I bench pressed 2 4-kilo dumbbells last week.
There we go.
So it's pretty embarrassing when you go in the gym and you get all the gym junkies there and they're bench pressing 100 kilos and I've got 2 4-kilo dumbbells and doing eyes and doing all this rehab work. But look, it's getting there. It's going to take a good another 6 to 12 months. They reckon before the shoulders hopefully back to 100% if it can be.
Yeah, because without putting too fine a point on it, the reality is you went against the best medical advice to return to us during the year, which speaks volumes of you, mate, as a man, and I guess, the priority that you gave our organisation, probably, to be fair, above your health and above your recovery.
Yeah, look, I probably shouldn't have gone over, but, when I'm sitting back at home, I'm watching the games, and I was yelling at the TV and yelling and carrying on, and it was actually my wife that said, "Hey, I'll go back with you," because I needed, I couldn't drive, I could hardly even put a towel over, I couldn't do hardly anything at all. I was in a sling and things like that. So if it wasn't for my wife, she's the one who said, "No, you got to do this as well." And, I spoke to, a good friend of mine, a doctor, and said, as long as I'm going to be exceptionally careful and, things like that. So, it was my wife that said, "No, let's go back and she'll help." She did for a couple of weeks there. And, and then obviously, people at the club sort of helped as well. So it was something I had to do. And, I just felt that I owed, I wasn't happy with the way we, lost all those games there, and I thought, no, I've got to get back and try and make a change if I could.
And I know too the support that you'd got, from the local community, which you talked about before as well too. It was kind of a major part in that decision as well too, right? To come back and do the best to sort of square things away.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, it did. We won our last game, and I remember looking up at the crowd and just the faces and how happy everybody was. And we had a disappointing and a losing season, but I think we finished off the season the right way. Winning some games, but it was all about when you look at the support, and that was one of the reasons I had to come back and try and see the season out.
Yeah, mate, I reflect on it a lot actually, and obviously have since we chatted, in terms of your decisions going forward as well too. And we knew your caliber from a coaching point of view when Jill and I had that initial conversation. It was the easiest recruit we'd ever done in our life, mate. I think, to be fair, I remember going around to Jill's house one Sunday afternoon, giving you a call, and we knew you by reputation, but we'd never met, obviously. Had I reckon, what was it, about a half-hour conversation, and you were, you said, yeah, let's do it. So it was just a really nice fit from day one, from an organisational point of view too. You and your values as a coach and as a man, I guess, and what we would kind of aspire to, I guess, as an organisation in that regard as well.
Yeah, well, as I said, it was it fit like a glove. As the minute I spoke with you guys, I felt comfortable, and that's what I found as soon as I got there. Again, the people on the board, just great people. They very supportive. As simple as that. Like the genuine people that support the team. And how we went about our business. So it was really easy, and that's what made it so hard for me to not come back. That I will be back, whether I'm coaching or not, but I'm definitely coming back to Southland next year. I want to watch some games and revisit you guys, because you became my family. While I was away for 5-6 months each year, it's hard. It's difficult being away from family, really is. But I was so lucky to have Jill in particular, like a big sister, mother figure, grandmother figure.
Careful.
Have you guys there to support. Like I said, Honk and Lee were amazing, and it was just a terrific group of guys that they made me welcome, and took me in as family.
Yeah, and there's going to be plenty, ourselves included, but everyone around the team and everyone around the stadium as well. He's going to, miss that Bevo sense of humour and that Bevo banter as well too. That'll be hard to replace.
Oh, you'll still get some banter from me on social media.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I've got some photos of you, Nick, as you know, and I play here at some stage.
Yeah, right. It's leverage. It's what's called leverage. Hey, so tell us a little bit about what you're doing, mate. Because obviously you have got a big role that you're getting stuck into, which obviously you're making really great progress on, and a bit hard to sort of uproot stumps for 5 months of the year and come back and join us, next year.
Yeah, look, it's a massive role, and so I've taken over a role as high performance manager. It's a newly created position where I oversee both NBL 1 men and women's programs. So that's the second tier over here in Australia. The men's team are actually the national champions. They actually won the national championship. So at that level, outstanding. They're really, they're the best in the country. So getting to work with all those players as well as the coaches. So it's like I mentor the coaches there. But then on top of that, I've got about 2,700 players at the club, and hundreds of coaches that I'm trying to work with as well to improve. So basically, it's gone from elite sport back to grassroots, and I've always been passionate about coach education and helping coaches and players get better. So it's a pretty big role, and although we're the number one in Australia, the problem we have over here is that it's a boom sport. We have so many people playing the game, but we just don't have facilities. And unfortunately, the teams only train once a week, so the skill level is quite low as far as I'm concerned. So I've got to make a whole lot of change, and also part of the role is infrastructure of trying to get new courts, new facilities, dealing with governments and things like that. So a lot of the stuff I'm doing is newish as well, getting more into the management side of things as well as coaching.
Nice, mate. Well, they couldn't have a better bloke to do it, let's be honest. Mate, honestly, we feel really indebted that we've had you as part of our family and always will, from a Sharks point of view. As I say, you've brought so much, well, really over 3 years, even though we had one, false start in 2020 as well too. So we couldn't be happier. We may have lost a coach, but I think the wonderful thing is that we've got a great mate. We really have, and personally for me, but also for I know our whole organisation, and I know our whole fan base watching this as well. Thank you for everything you've done, for everything that you've brought, and for everything that's coming for you, mate.
Mate, really appreciate it. As I said, it was one of the toughest decisions I've ever had. When I said to you, when I read the press release, when we did the press release, I had a lump in my throat, and I thought, oh, geez, what am I doing type thing. But, it was one of the most amazing experiences I've had. Southland will be a second home for me. And as I said, I will be back. We wander in the stadium there, and I'll be supporting the club and do what I can do to help from afar.
Good stuff, mate. We'll see you soon.
Okay. Thanks, Nick.